Rich Brooks Show.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Todd McKim along with the coach, and welcome to this week's show. And we've got a lot of exciting highlights for you as the Ducks came back with a very impressive 28-13 victory over Texas Tech. And as you can see, we already have some changes in the show. We've seen the live studio audience. The audience that we had last week, in all frankness, Coach and I didn't want to be seen in public with that audience, so we didn't show them. Just kidding, folks. This audience is a much better-looking audience, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun this afternoon. Well, Coach, you had a great victory against Texas Tech on Saturday night. It was a win on the road. Your team is now 2-0. And I think each and every week, the first 2 weeks, you've kind of improved. You've taken some steps, and especially winning on the road, something we talked about last week, very important to get started off on a good track.
Well, Todd, it was, and we seem like we want to shoot ourselves in the foot every time out. Fumbling the first snap, giving them 7 points right off the bat, and then having to come back. But I thought our team responded very well in very adverse conditions. The humidity, the heat a little bit bothered us, but certainly O'Neill performed better. He had to perform better because Texas Tech did some things to take our running game away from us early on. But in doing that, they exposed themselves to some problems in pass defense, and O'Neill took full advantage of them.
Indeed he did. 4 touchdown passes, ties a single-game record held by pretty good company, Tom Blanchard, Dan Fouts, and Chris Miller. But as you mentioned, he was on the money to start the game. He was 8 for 8, completed his first 8 passes, and I thought his coolness and calmness was the difference in a couple of those drives. He stayed in the pocket a little bit better this week than last week.
He did. He showed more patience a lot of the time. He did definitely improve over his first week's performance, but he has a long way to go yet, and he admitted that after the game. Certainly he had some wide open receivers later that he missed. He's still a little bit careless with the football. That could come back and bite us if he doesn't learn to tuck it away a little bit better. But I thought the big turnaround came for us when we responded with a long drive after Texas Tech had taken a long drive into the wind in the third quarter and closed the gap to 14-13, and the offense responded with a good touchdown drive.
Indeed they did. You had some people come through in this game that in the first game we hadn't seen a lot of. In particular, you talk about a guy like Ronnie Harris. In the first game he had a couple of passes off his hands that I'm sure he would have liked to have caught. He comes back and gets his first 2 career touchdown passes.
Well, he does, and there's no getting away from the fact that speed helps, obviously. His first touchdown was one that the 600-meter speed showed up. He just ran away from a man-to-man defender and got into, with a little bit of nifty footwork on the sideline, got into the end zone. But I think that our receivers are maturing. I think our offensive line, again, played a pretty good game. Not quite as good as last week, but against a higher quality defensive front.
Defensively, you were facing a team that you talked last week whose offensive line likes to fire off the ball. Yet, I didn't really get the sense that Texas Tech at any point really established a running game. They ran sporadically at times, but it looked like they felt that to win the football game, they had to throw the football.
Well, I think they did. Unfortunately, we lost Jeff Cummings on the first series of the game, and we're without him the entire rest of the contest. Romeo Bannison played pretty well. We lost Marcus Woods in the fourth quarter. Salila Malapai came in and played very well, and Williams played well too. But we took away their fullback game, which was so good against Fullerton. They did hurt us on some delayed draws, a few option plays outside, and a few toss sweeps. But their backs, Todd, run awful hard. I mean, it was there was some punishment dealt out both ways on that field because they're very powerful, strong runners, and they broke some tackles. I was not pleased with our tackling.
A couple of coaches mentioned afterwards that they thought that, you know, most teams increase the size of their players in the program. He said in the program these guys were big, but on the field they looked even bigger.
I want to tell you what, old Spike did a good job setting us up, talking about how big we were. I mean, I think they won the pregame warm-up.
Well, you won the football game and the final score. One other guy we have to talk about is Tommy Thompson. He did not have a great game in game number 1 against Washington State, but I tell you, he came back and really punted and kicked the ball off very well against Texas Tech.
Well, he did. He responded to the challenge. He was not happy. I was not happy with his performance a week ago. He punted extremely well, pinned him deep a couple of times. kicked off all but one into the end zone. Now, granted, the elevation was higher and he had a little wind at his back, but I was very pleased with our punting and kicking units for the most part. We still have to do better on the return end.
All right, we'll get into the game highlights in just a moment, but first let's take a look at the Pac-10 scoreboard, see what else transpired on Saturday. Oregon State, a loser at UNLV. The Beavers are 0-2. And California got 3 touchdown passes from Mike Pawlowski, and the defense forced 4 key turnovers that led to 26 points as the Bears routed Purdue. Penn State, Southern California, the Trojans, after a loss opening up to Memphis State, comes back and whips 5th-ranked Penn State 21-10. UCLA, a loser on the road, a tough place to play, Knoxville, Tennessee. How about the Arizona schools? Well, the University of Arizona down 17-0 at home to Stanford, but rallied to win it. Stanford is now 0-2. And Arizona State got a big win on the road, 30-3 against Oklahoma State. Washington State, a loser to Fresno State, 34-30. And the Ducks' next opponent, Utah, had a very difficult loss against Air Force. They had a tying field goal blocked with just seconds remaining in that game. We'll have more on the Utes in just a minute. Let's set the scene for Saturday's contest in Texas Tech. And if you've ever been to Texas or one of these football games, they love food. I mean, here's how they make the potato chips. And if you like beef, this was the place to be. That looks pretty good, Coach. I'll tell you what, some of that before the game sat pretty good with me.
They're feeding their players a lot of that, I think.
I think you're right. And look at the sausages and the whole bit. Anyway, it's a festive atmosphere down there. Texas football, it certainly is king as far as athletics is concerned in that state. Spike Dykes in his 5th campaign with the Red Raiders has a record of 21-1. And his team coming in with a record of 1-0, having defeated Cal State Fullerton in the first contest 41-7. He's got a good quarterback in Jamie Gill. He has some big, strong defensive players as well. And when we come back, we'll take a look at the first quarter highlights as the Ducks get ready to take on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Welcome back to the show, everybody. A little bit later on in the program, the coach will go one-on-one with the studio audience. Actually, 1-on-2. I'll be the other one as far as the studio audience is concerned. And we'll have some fun at the end of the show as far as answering studio questions.
You're going to run interference?
I'm going to try, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a great blocker, but I'll try to take out a couple of people if I can. Let's get into the first quarter highlights. The Ducks won the toss of the coin, elected to defer their decision until the second half. So they'll kick off. You had a little breeze at your back. Tommy Thompson, as he did all night long, into the end zone for the touchback. Defensively, good series. In fact, there were a couple of key plays early on short yardage where your defense came up big.
Great job there, and that's Jeff Cummings' last play. Farwell stepped up, did an excellent job along with James Batista.
Take a look at it again down low.
You can see Farwell's going to fill in real quickly, meet the fullback, make first contact, gets help from James Batista, and Jeff Cummings hurt his foot on that play and was lost for the contest.
Well, you get it back, but disaster on the first offensive play and turnover. Red Raiders recovered.
Well, that's one of those freshman mistakes that Danny made. He made a bad play worse when he tripped. They come back and run in. We get misaligned on this play, and they get an easy sweep touchdown. So we had some confusion on defense and offense to start the game. We come right back with a nice trap play to Juan Shedrick up the middle and get good line surge.
Several times in the game when Texas Tech scored, your offense responded immediately, and that's important.
Big third down play there from O'Neal to James Jesse for the first down.
This will be a 20-yard completion from Danny O'Neal to Jeff Thomason.
This is a play we put in for Texas Tech because their linebackers read so well. We call it a sucker screen where we send both backs out. Thomason falls on his belly and then gets up and ran into a wide open middle. There you can see we get heavy pressure on O'Neal and he gets sacked for the first time in his collegiate career.
What a great throw.
It was a great throw. Big third down play. He steps right up in there and had some pressure, but delivered a perfect strike to Anthony Jones for a key completion and a first down.
First down as you have the ball deep in Texas Tech territory at the 24-yard line. We pick up 2nd and 7. Nice catch by Jeff Thomason.
It was off 2 tight ends, and Jeff faked the block, and then O'Neal hit him And here is a great juggling catch by Thomason. Now, Jeff dislocated his middle finger on his right hand in practice Wednesday, and it was questionable just how well he's going to be able to catch the ball. And this kind of had me, you see, that's not very usual for him to juggle a football, and he played an outstanding game considering the fact that he had a very sore finger on his right hand.
In fact, on that drive, he made 3 receptions. So Texas Tech comes back with the football. Gill gets the pass to Anthony Stinnett, and you talked about tackling, and here's a case where the defense didn't quite do the job.
Pretty sloppy tackling. Nice play by Stinnett, who caught 8 passes, I believe, in the contest. There's the fullback game that we did a good job taking away. Marcus Woods had an outstanding football game before his injury.
Yeah, he had only the 2 tackles last week, but he was a force this week as well.
You can see LeBounty coming in there, Marcus Woods, Ernest Jones, just a real solid play on the fullback trapping game inside.
So you get the football back. Burwell dribbles the ball a few times here.
I'll
picks
tell
up
you,
a couple.
that was one of the best 4-yard runs and one of the scariest I've seen. With O'Neal, nice job by Anthony Jones catching the ball again on a key 3rd down play on the sideline. Look at it, gets good pass protection here, excellent pass protection, steps into his throw and hits Anthony Jones right on the sideline, gets 1 foot down just before stepping out of bounds in front of our bench.
Danny completed the first 8 passes he attempted.
You can see him scrambling here and wisely getting out of bounds. He's going to have to learn he has to get out a little bit more aggressively because sometimes he lets up and he's going to take a shot right on the sideline. Here's the play that we got a touchdown later on. Ronnie Harris on a little slant pattern across the middle against man-to-man coverage. Nice run here by Burwell. He fumbles, but alertly Jeff Thomason saved the day for us.
Well, you talked about that play just moments ago with Ronnie Harris on a little cross pattern. Here it is again, and this time Harris with that speed tippy-toes the sidelines into the end zone for the touchdown. And that is our play of the day because with a point after, the Ducks had the lead for good and eventually the game-winning points. Now, Coach, tell us what happened on the play and diagram it for us.
Well, we had a left formation here, and we ran a little fake to the tailback coming this way. We had man-to-man coverage in the secondary. Anthony Jones cleared through here, brought this corner with him, occupied the safety. Jeff Thomason took the other safety this way, and Ronnie Harris ran that other route right here about 5 yards of depth. And this corner, as you saw on the replay, was about 2 steps behind him. O'Neal delivered it perfectly here, and Ronnie just made a real nice run up the sideline. That's a crossing patterns. We like to cross our receivers a lot, Todd, when we get man-to-man coverage because with the speed it's very difficult. As you can see on the replay here, O'Neal gets good protection off the play fake and hits Ronnie Harris. You can see he's got about a 3-step lead on the corner. And just an excellent job here. What a great camera shot this is on the sideline. You can see him, just great balance, keeping his feet right into the corner of the end zone.
The man he beat was one of the top sprinters in the Big Ten when he was at Purdue a couple of years ago, Tony Brown. So there you see the score, 14-7 as the Ducks have the lead, and that was the score at the end of the first period of play. When we come back, we'll have the second quarter highlights. So stick with us. Welcome back to the show, everybody. The Ducks are leading at the end of the first quarter, 14-7. As we pick up the second quarter highlights, Texas Tech has the football, but not for very long. And this is one reason why. Marcus Woods.
Excellent job by Marcus Woods. He came back and played a great game, and they were double teaming, triple teaming him. LeBounty, I think, was credited in the official stats with this sack, but as you can see, Marcus actually gets there first and probably is frustrating LeBounty even more because he's just so close to adding to his school record total, but Marcus was credited officially with that one.
And this guy punt?
This guy, Mike McCarty, who was on our staff as a grad assistant and played for us, coached him at West Texas State, and they dropped the program, and he transferred there to Texas Tech. Nice move by Ronnie Harris on the sideline, who also came back and played a strong football game after an average start in the first game against Washington State.
Take another look at that one.
Just a little quick protection here. You can see a good block by Juan Shedrick up on top. and a little quick out. Ronnie actually juggles the ball a little bit, but makes a nice move and should have that ball on the outside arm and protect it from being hit from the tackler.
Well, we pick up action. It's 2nd and 19 after a holding call against the Ducks. Here comes O'Neill again, scrambling and picking up 10 of that 19, and then on 3rd and 9.
Overthrows Burwell on that. Yeah, we were having a little trouble getting open because they were grabbing some of our receivers. They come back and run the option here. And a real nice play again by Marcus Woods, but it was held up. You can see Marcus is going to run down the line now. He's kind of coming from the left of the screen, and he's going to make the tackle right there after the fullback was stuffed up at the point of attack by Matt LeBounty.
The Ducks leading 14-7. We are early in the second quarter.
Screen pass there. They ran very effectively, got a good kick-out block on our corner. Here they run the option, and what a great effort he made to get that first down, flying 5 yards in the air to get to the first down marker.
They needed 7, and he got 8 with the dive. What a great play by Jamie Gill.
A little improvised slip screen there. He was being sacked, and he saw his fullback standing around, just flipped it underhand to him.
Try to draw play. Not much there for Anthony Lim. Loss of one. Romeo Bandis in the stop.
Romeo played a lot of football in this game because Cummings was hurt early in that first drive, but nice play there by Romeo.
So the next play is a 3rd down and 11. Maybe a touchdown-saving play here by Darrell Smith.
It was. He was open, and Darrell just got his hand in on that to break it up. And this guy is quite a field goal kicker.
They have a good punting-kicking tandem. Lynn Elliott connects, and it is 14-10 in favor of the Ducks. They get it back, trying to move the football and get another score before the end of the half.
Anthony Jones, again, a similar crossing pattern to the one Ronnie Harris scored on because they played so much man-to-man on us.
Little man defense on Sean Burwell, and he gets 29 yards on the pass reception.
And he was being held. I don't know if you can see it on the screen or not, but as he goes there, the linebacker's going to have a hold of him right there with his right hand. He just broke away, and O'Neill floated a nice soft pass in there. And Sean, I think, ends up again with about 200 yards of all-purpose running in this game.
So on a 2nd down and 8, the drive kind of stalls here as Danny O'Neill is sacked and a loss of 6. So Texas Tech gets the football back, 1st and 10 at their own 16. About 4 minutes to play in the first half.
Good job there by Batista and Farwell stuffing up the middle. And we get good pressure on the quarterback, and he overthrows out of bounds.
So on 3rd and 9 comes number 69 again.
Marcus Woods gets some help from Andy Connor. You can see Marcus make a move here, an arm under move on the offensive guard, number 69, coming in from the right-hand portion of your screen, and he gets help from Andy Connor. Marcus really put a lot of pressure on the middle of their running game and on the quarterback.
I want to show this because Tommy didn't just punt and kick off well with the wind. This was against the wind, and you can't do much better than that. Chad Cota downs it at the 4-yard line.
Good job by Tommy pinning Texas Tech deep, and big play here. This is a big, big play. What a great interception and return. Watch this run by Castle.
We don't have a good replay to show you, but pass interference was called on Chad Cota, and this is what you're talking about. Adversity, yet you come back and Darrell Smith with the interception.
Come right back and intercept another one, but we don't get the 7 points back, Todd, and that was a bad call by the officials. Cota did hit the receiver, but it was about the same time, and the receiver had no chance of making the catch.
All right, we're ready for the third quarter highlights. The Ducks leading Texas Tech 14-10 at the half. As we pick up activity, Texas Tech with the football, 3rd and 1.
Big play here by Joe Farwell. Excellent job stopping him short of the first down. We played excellent 3rd down defense. You can see on the replay here, we're trying to sweep to our defensive left, and Joe Farwell steps up and makes a big hit short of the first down.
Your offense unable to move at the first 2 series, and Texas Tech pinned deep, but gets a drive going here.
Big, big play there. We had them 3rd and 7 from the 6-yard line, and they pick up the first down, and now they put a good drive together. Missed tackle on that particular play. Farwell again making the tackle, Little play action fake here. Gets pressure, scrambles out of the pocket, and picks up a first down and a pretty good shot, too, from Romeo Banison and Andy Connor.
Gill had to leave the ball game early in the fourth quarter. Here's their speedster in the backfield, Mitchell, and he turns the corner.
Did a good job. They cracked on our contain man on that, and well, they look like they're playing Canadian football with some of their motion, Todd. They were going illegally toward the line, but they picked up a big play there. They attacked us in the middle pretty well throwing the football, and Muhammad Oliver was there to make the tackle. Sideline pass here, a good tackle here, though, holding them short of the first down. You can see about 3 yards short, and they come in and kick the field goal to close the gap to 14-13.
But here's where your offense responded. You're on the road, the crowd's into the ball game a little bit, and the offense takes it right out of the game with a nice drive.
Just overthrown Anthony Jones, and he gets pass interference penalty called. As he was trying to get it, he got hit. And a nice trap block there to Burwell, who picked up about 8 yards.
3rd and 5. Danny O'Neill gets 5 and about 4 inches.
That's what I'm talking about when he's got to get fully out of bounds before he decides he's going to check his motor. And an excellent run here by Juan Shedrick on the trap play up the middle. Actually, this is a belly play. You can see on the replay, the nose guard breaks clean into the backfield, but he cuts it back, and Todd Gettison did a nice job on the backside of that play, scramble blocking the Texas Tech defender down and allowing the cutback lane.
Gain of 14, O'Neill.
Screen pass back to Burwell. Flow to the right, and Burwell goes down the sideline before being knocked out of bounds. Big play for us.
Gain of 23.
You can see O'Neill rolling to the left of the screen. Burwell sets up and comes back to the right of the screen, and he gets an excellent run down the sideline here before being knocked out of bounds.
So a nice drive put together here from the 9-yard line. Burwell to the right on a play I think he scored on last week against Washington State. Gets down to the 5, and on the next play, did he audibilize here, or was this a designed route?
No, this was a called play, and nice job by Ronnie Harris. See, he just uses his speed to beat him in the corner, and a nice job of catching the ball for the touch.
Big drive as it 71 yards, 8 plays, and now you've extended the lead to 8 points. And although not in total control, certainly have to feel a lot better about things.
Well, we do, and there they come back throwing a screen pass. Ernest Jones in man-to-man coverage. You can see we're in what we call Apache coverage, 5 underneath man, and Ernest Jones comes up here, makes the tackle. He beats the lineman that's going to be there to tackle or to block him, and makes the play behind the line of scrimmage. Again, Ernest Jones over the middle.
Just did get the first down, though, but it was a big hit, and I think Ernest thought that the guy was going to be short of the first down. Everybody stumbled and bumbled on this one. Finally, ball carrier goes down. Paul Rodriguez on the stop.
Nice tackle there by Paul. This is kind of an interesting deal. You can see that they have a brand new AstroTurf, and it was sticky. O'Neill stumbled and fumbled on the first play of the game. You can see their cleats catch in the turf a little bit, and it's very grabby on the feet, and it makes you stumble a little bit.
Into the fourth quarter we go. The Ducks leading Texas Tech 21-13, and Oregon not done scoring, but not without a few scares as well. Danny O'Neill scrambling out of the pocket, again using that elusive running ability out of bounds, and picks up a first down on a 3rd and 8 play.
That was a key play. Excellent pass protection here. Nice job by Collinsworth, number 75. Shedrick steps up there. Heath Howington's in at the guard spot. Excellent pass protection, but he couldn't find anybody open, and he pulled down the ball and ran and kind of faked out the outside linebacker there and stepped out of bounds after gaining the first down.
2nd and 10.
Draw play to Sean Burwell, picks up 9 yards.
3rd down and 1. Not a lot of room over there, but enough for the first down.
Screen pass off the fake to Burwell, flips the screen out to Shedrick. Jeff Allen out there getting a block to spring him, and Shedrick just puts his head down and gains about 12 yards in the first down.
So the clock winding down. Burwell had 111 yards on the evening. I think he had about 37 on this drive.
This was a big drive for us. We needed to eat the clock up. Certainly, we're not out of danger on the road. Nice block there by Bud Bowie, who's taking his medical test today to see if he can get into medical school, along with Doug Douglas. Both of them were studying on the plane coming home last night.
Boy, that's tough after you played a hard physical football game. You see McCallum missing the field goal, but it did not really was not a factor, obviously, in the final score, as the Ducks win it on the road 28-13 and improve their record to 2-0. So it was a big victory for the Ducks. And let's take a look at some of the post-game statistics to show you how the team and some of the individuals did. You see the Ducks dominating in the first downs, rushing 164 to only 110 for Texas Tech. Danny O'Neill, big game passing, will show his individual stats in a moment. Total offense, 456 to 340. Now into the locker room we go to get some of the players' reaction to the game.
It's a hard thing to take in when you fumble it and they get 7 points because of it, but I think the whole offensive line and the receivers and the backs are really confident with our offense. We knew that we were going to put points on the board, so we knew that we would put points on the board. They start out in their 3 deep, cover 3 look, and that's what our defense runs a lot, so I was just really comfortable with their defense.
Well, he was indeed comfortable with the defense, and he is getting more and more comfortable with your offense as the weeks progress as well.
Well, he is, Todd, and I think people are going to learn a little lesson from this game. He burned the blitz several times in this with touchdown passes, and they may think he's young and inexperienced, but he's a pretty savvy quarterback.
This is the Rich Brooks Show, featuring the Oregon Ducks. Brought to you in part by Taylor Electric, Mashofsky